News Sports Center.
Well, the Texans, they beat the Steelers 30-16 and moved on to face the Patriots in the wild card round. Pro Bowler wide receiver Nico Collins suffered a concussion in the win and is in question for this week's game. Speaking of the Steelers, head coach Mike Tomlin, after 19 seasons, stepping down as head coach, although Steelers say they will retain his rights.
If you smoke, take it outside. Get the facts at don'tpassgas.org.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That ball is history. A walk-off home run.
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge. What's up,
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I am James Pledger. Thank you for joining me, however you may be joining me, whether that's 94.1 on your FM dial. You may be locked in listening live at sasportstar.com. We are AA Best Bail Bonds audio player, or if you're watching live on YouTube, that's right. We stream all of our shows on YouTube. Just go there, search SA Sports Star. Go ahead and like and subscribe while you're there. You're able to comment along with the show as it happens, or you can feel free to call in the old-fashioned way, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Appreciate y'all for rolling along with me tonight as, man, playoffs have been fun to this point, and the Texans, well, they put a cap on wild card weekend and their defense made a statement. But C.J. Stroud did not look great in that win. And it is unsustainable to win in the playoffs when you have 5 fumbles, lose 2, throw an interception. The Texans did enough to win the game, and congratulations. Offensively, They ran the ball well. Woody Marks had a great game. The defense was dominant in that game, holding the Steelers out of the end zone, and eventually just having Mike Tomlin today announce that he was stepping away from football for a while. So that was insane. Earlier this morning on the Morning Huddle, Rob and AJ talking about how the Texans got that win over the Steelers.
The Houston Texans move on to the divisional round. They get a 30-6 win on the road in Pittsburgh. I gave that stat yesterday that dome teams going to play in freezing temps on the road in the playoffs were 1-14 all time.
2?
No, like I got so many tweets last night about this.
Oh.
And they were like,
did you read it wrong?
No, it was 34 degrees.
Oh, okay.
And I said, well, to be fair, I would have bet this. I would have bet the same way. I wasn't going to let 2 degrees decide how I pictured this game happening.
So what is it? Okay.
So the stat is like,
what is it at 34? I'm sure it's significantly different.
Yeah, I don't even know.
I don't think it is.
It probably not. But
that's such a stickler thing.
I'll tell you this. 2 degrees wouldn't have made the difference last night for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Aaron Rodgers stunk out loud.
You can stop right there.
Yeah, you pretty much can.
That offense had no prayer. No, there was. Now, I think it's more the defense than the offense, but the final straw was immediate. It was over. They had no prayer of scoring any kind of points.
This game was 7-6 in the fourth quarter. It was not a fun game to watch by any stretch.
How many fourth quarter games did we have this weekend? 3 of the 4?
No.
2 of the 4, 2 of the 5, 3 of the 5?
It was 4 of the 6.
4 of the, that's what I meant.
Well,
so
I mean,
action was fourth quarter.
If you count, I mean, because again, early in the fourth quarter, this was a 1-point game.
Right.
So you could say this was a game in the fourth quarter.
Right.
literally every game was a game in the fourth quarter.
It was a different kind of game, but it was still a close game.
Yeah. Every game was a one-score game in the fourth quarter.
Absolutely crazy. And not like it wasn't the same kind of drama in the fourth quarter that the other ones offered, because it was just a matter of time before this house of cards utterly collapsed, and it did in the fourth. But it was that's what's crazy about the Texans is looking at the score, it was such a thorough dismantling. I mean, you don't see that in a playoff game. I mean, it's a rarity. And normally when this kind of thing happens, coaches and players do get waxed because of the performance. But it wasn't that. The Texans defense was the thing in the show, and that was it. And there was nothing else after that. The Texans offense was as bad as Pittsburgh's. There was nothing to ride home. They ran the ball appropriately, in 2 series?
The very first series of the game, in like 3 plays, they were out to the 50-yard line and then died.
And so there's nothing to ride home about what Houston did.
Then the Steelers didn't threaten again unless they got a turnover.
Yeah, there was.
But you're right. The Texans, the 3 turnovers, C.J. Stroud, 3 turnovers, 2 fumbles, and a pick. And he could have had more. He was very loose with the ball. He was, quite frankly, C.J. Stroud was bad last night.
How many quarterbacks survive that
almost,
in a playoff?
I've never seen
impossible.
it before. Except when Trevor Lawrence, when they beat the Chargers on the night that he had 4 interceptions in the first half, it's like, sometimes every once in a while there's a miracle.
That was terrible throws peppered in with good ones. Stroud was terrible.
Yeah.
He couldn't throw up, down, sideways. He was making bad decisions. He was holding the ball loose. He was running at inappropriate times. And when he was running at the appropriate times, he ran the wrong direction.
But the defense was so dominant that it didn't matter.
Yeah.
The Steelers were 2 of 14 on third down, 2 of 14. Even when the Steelers would turn them over, and they turned them over once, they were already in the red zone. And they had to get a field goal.
Yeah, it didn't matter.
It was just pathetic.
So I don't know, and this is one of those classics. I don't know what to take from this, because I do know the Steelers' defense is adequate. I know it's great, but I know it's adequate. And I know that T.J. Watt certainly is a difference maker, and his name was mentioned a lot last night. So I do think there's something to the Pittsburgh defense. I'm not going to lay it completely. But if today – I'm D'Amico, I'm very concerned about my quarterback. I'm sending him to a sports psychologist. The yips. What was that, man? Were you that scared?
The total in the game on Sunday is 40.5. Given how difficult it was for the Patriots to put up points on the Chargers, and knowing that this Texans defense is way better than that, and then given that the Texans couldn't score against the Steelers, and the Patriots defense is better than that, this is going to be a rock fight.
Is it possible a safety decides it?
That's the Rams Bears game is the total's 10 points higher. I don't expect much action in this Texans Patriots game.
I like that Texans defense against Drake May. I like the way that they collapse. Now, certainly the escape velocity of Aaron Rodgers is pretty slow.
Yeah.
And Drake May's velocity is probably a little bit quicker that first 3 yards. But they collapsed on Aaron last night.
Yeah.
A lot of that, he looked terrible because they were it was as bad as the Chargers line, but different. The Chargers just looked stupid, looked bumbling in 6 sacks. Steelers were giving everything they had. It was just overwhelming.
And it's funny, they mentioned it last night on the broadcast, and it is really true. The Texans don't try to trick you with their defense. They put their hand in the dirt and they say, I'm going to run you over and go do what I want. And then they do it, which is pretty awesome.
It's one of those things that has not gotten the publicity that it deserves. And I get the sense this week we're really going to hear about this Texans defense, because there's not a position on that field they're weak at. And every one of them hits you really, really hard. They're violently hard.
Yeah, obviously the edge rushers are great. The corners are fantastic.
And if you're a Texans fan, name 3 starters. If you're not a Texans fan, name 3 starters on the Houston Texans.
I think most people. I mean, Will Anderson is a
last night a special
star.
Yeah, he is a star. But again, an unheralded, under talked about.
I mean, he was the number.
He was a rookie of the year.
He was the number 2 pick or number 1 pick.
But
in
what
the
I'm
draft.
talking about is he's exceptional. But we don't talk about him till now. I don't remember talking a lot about Will Anderson in the middle of this win streak, although he's an instrumental reason as to why. It's just an underpublicized thing, I think, with the Texans. That I think last night was a wake-up call to a lot of people across the country haven't been watching, me included. Like, I know this defense is good. I didn't know they were that good.
Well, Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter are.
Yeah, Daniil Hunter.
I mean, that's 2 of the best pass rushers in the league. Sheldon Rankins in the middle is a beast. Stingley on the outside with Lassiter is like one of the best 1-2. Like, you can't avoid either one of them.
Yeah, there's not
good.
A weak spot on that defense.
And then Azeez Al-Shaair has turned into a real player in the middle of that defense at linebacker. That like they've got it figured out right there defensively. The offense still, and now I mean, there's almost. I'm not going to say there's 0 chance that Nico Collins plays. But there's about a 2% chance Nico Collins plays against the Patriots.
Well,
I mean, he basically face planted.
How ready do I have backup quarterback?
Davis Mills?
Yes.
No,
I'm talking about a dude
no.
I know that sounds crazy. They can't win if CJ does that again.
But that would ruin the future of CJ Stroud.
Maybe, I'm just saying that performance was so bad. They can't beat New England if he does that again. They can't. That defense was extraordinary. Even that defense can't protect him if he does what he did last night again.
Yeah, I do like as good as they looked. It is important to remember the Steelers.
That's what I'm saying. I know the
Steelers are
good,
what the Steelers are,
but it was the look in his eyes. It wasn't just the performance. It was what was going on before the snap. It just like he was utterly scared. I don't know the better word.
He was in prime form yesterday, where he was blaming everybody for running the wrong routes. He couldn't believe that he didn't get the protection. He didn't break at that moment. He broke a yard late. My wife was even like, "Why is he blaming everybody else? Does he not realize he's not playing very good?"
That's why I don't think he's going to retire. But the comparison between the two, they were both equally bad for such entirely different reasons. I mean, Aaron thought he was better than he was. And CJ thought he was worse than he is. I don't know what to make of what I saw from him last night. It shouldn't have been that jumpy.
No.
You know what I mean? She shouldn't have been. He just looked like he was scared.
So when I tell you the Patriots are 3-point favorites at home against the Texans.
Against that offense? Yes.
Yeah.
And it's not a matter of I think they're 3 points better. I guarantee you that offense is 3 points better. You know, the defenses are going to.
But what are they going to do against that defense?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'd love to see this Drake May, his escapability, because it's going to come into play. And if he can buy more time than Aaron Rodgers does, it's going to be hard to find some open cats. So this is going to be an interesting, a fun matchup, because if the Texans are building some momentum here, even if the rest of the country doesn't believe in them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're rolling right now. And if I'm on the Texans squad going home today or last night, we just whooped that team's ass and did nothing on off. Like anything that comes from the other side of the ball is gravy.
Yeah. I'm a little surprised at that line. I thought I wouldn't have. I thought the line would be a little bit wider. Maybe outside. Like I'm not like a lot, but like 3.5 probably, just because.
Well, I don't think it's over. I don't think it's done. But I think that they see that defense and wonder, there's still a rookie, and he didn't look spectacular last week.
No, but that was his first start
again,
and we always.
I get it. I think it'll be very interesting to see how close the Texans comes. I do think some Texans money is going to come this direction.
I mean, it looks like there's going to be, there's going to be 2.5. It looks like
I would lay money there just because.
Oh no, it looks like it's going to be 3.5 actually.
You think it'll go the other way?
Yeah, it's looking that way.
So maybe the expectation is the thought was Aaron Rodgers was just that bad.
Yeah.
that no one could be that bad again against that defense.
No, maybe I'm wrong. Like,
I think the
I refresh
defense.
it looks like it is going to be. It looks like it might be trending towards 2.5. You might be right.
That thing. Let me tell you that was an extraordinary 175 total yards from Pittsburgh, and it's not like they were even remotely close to an efficient offense at all. But they did get wide receiver back, and they were running the ball better. And Aaron's coming off, if he's not pressured, is a fairly accurate quarterback, but his escapability is nil. He's wearing lead shoes. He can't get away from anybody. He can't get his feet out of the mud. So it didn't take much to knock him off kilter. But I do think that even if you're a mobile quarterback, that defense was built to keep you in the pocket and smash you. You don't get to run around.
Daniel says, week in and week out, CJ stated he has to play better. Same lame story, yet no improvement. Only worse and worse play by CJ.
Dude, he's right.
And he's got Texans in his handle, so he's a fan.
It hurt.
Watching CJ Stroud, the struggles were real. Some of that was Pittsburgh did play well defensively, just on the field too long, and eventually the dam broke, and the dam broke for the defenses. Pittsburgh could just abandon the running game, and it became time to just tee off on Aaron Rodgers. But that defense, as we've seen all season long, will keep them in every game. And if CJ and the offense can protect the football, I think they've got a shot to win against anyone. And we've already seen over the last 2 years what they can do against Buffalo if they have to play them. Drake May, rookie, second playoff start against this defense, and we saw him struggle against the Chargers. This is a ramped up version. Could we see the Texans get past the divisional round for the first time in franchise history, just like they won their first road game in franchise history in the playoffs last night? Time will tell as we get closer to the matchup. Nico Collins' availability going to be huge for that after leaving with a concussion, though. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. When we come back, we'll take a look at some of the rest of the divisional round matchups that we have coming this weekend. Of course, you can catch all of those games right here on San Antonio Sports Star, presented by Flight by Yingling. We're going to look at some of those other matchups when we come back right here on Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Hump day on the Morning Huddle. We'll be in talking Spurs and Thunder. Who left happy?
The coaching carousel continues to turn. What's a Tomlin worth? Where does Harbaugh want to live? So many questions. We got the answers. Get here early. The party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
At GiveMeTheVin.com, we're driving the market, and we're more than equipped to buy more than just one vehicle at a time. Case in point, your oil field trucks and fleet vehicles. Whether you've got one or two or a dozen or by the hundreds, we want to buy them, along with the owner's Lamborghini and everything in between. We have the money and we know the market, and you'll get your check on the spot at GiveMeTheVin.com, America's best car buyer.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
The football playoffs are here, and you know Underdog is the best place to get in on all the action. Jason Minix here from The Blitz. Look, as a Cowboy fan, I've got to find these games more exciting and entertaining, and I can do that with Underdog. Make your picks and win money right now in Texas. And it's easy. You take your favorite player stats and decide higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, rushing yards, that sort of thing. Get your picks right, you can win up to 5,000 times your cash. So what are you waiting for? Download the Underdog app today. Use promo code STAR to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code STAR at Underdog. Make picks, win money. Must be 18 plus and present in Texas. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Progressive knows RV owners like to travel at a nice, relaxing pace. Just like this commercial. They're not rushing to a departure gate at the airport. because they depart from their driveway. And they can relax even more knowing they're protected by Progressive. Now here comes the fast part. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
You can swirl it, you can sip it, but the best way is to share it. Hey y'all, I'm Deanna, a team member at my local Chick-fil-A. And a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich and new frosted sodas and floats is how well they go together. You get that bold flavor of the Coke mixed with the smooth deliciousness of the vanilla ice cream. You have a juicy filet and a smooth, creamy float. It's an awesome pairing.
Order a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich and a new frosted soda and float at your local Chick-fil-A restaurant. Real team member paid for their testimonial.
San Antonio's sports star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pledger here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I am James Pledger. I always appreciate y'all riding with me. As you can see in the background, I got TGL going on as Juniper Lakes is playing Tigers team, and he is there in support, although not playing right now as he still recovers from that Achilles injury. Hopefully we can get him back playing in time for Masters in April. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger. The divisional round is set. You can catch all of the NFL playoffs right here on San Antonio Sports Star, presented by Flight by Yingling. It all starts on Saturday as we get Bills and Broncos at 3:30 Saturday afternoon. It's going to start at 2:30 with the pregame right here. That is followed immediately by 49ers and Seahawks at 7 o'clock. And then on Sunday, you got Texans Patriots in the early game. That one's set for 2 o'clock, 1:30 with the pregame. You heard us talking about that a little bit earlier, and that will be followed by Rams Bears in frigid Chicago. That one 5:30 start for that game. And I'll tell you, I'm very, very excited about this weekend because you got the Denver's defense against Josh Allen, who is Superman and puts on the cape, as we saw against Jacksonville. So anything can happen when you're dealing with a defense like that and then a quarterback like that. And then 49ers Seahawks, we saw at the end of the season, man, those two teams, they play each other hard. And Seattle found a way against San Francisco to shut them down completely. Now with the loss of George Kittle, being at home with the 12s, that could be an issue. Some of these other divisional round matchups, Joe and I were talking about it a little bit earlier on the Blitz.
By the way, the divisional games are all right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, by the way. Thanks to our friends from Flight by Yingling. Begins on Saturday. Bills take on the Broncos in Denver, 2:30 pregame, followed by the 49ers in Seattle to take on the Seahawks at 7 o'clock. And then, of course, Sunday, Texans, New England, and then the Rams and the Bears. It's all right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, every one of those. So if you can't be by a TV one of those days, you can certainly tune it in here on 94.1. The NFL playoffs brought to you by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. And we appreciate them for doing that. We mentioned the divisional round games, and man, I'm fired up about it. You know, with Philly getting beat, you're going to have a first-time champ, or at least a different champ. No repeat champions, since San Francisco did us all a favor and knocked out the Philadelphia Eagles, which was very nice of them to do that. So you got Buffalo and Denver coming up. That's the first game on Saturday afternoon. That will be on CBS, by the way. And I'm looking forward to that game. Now, I don't know if it's good to have a week off if you're Seattle, if you're Denver, but we'll see. Buffalo had a hell of a tough game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Very physical game against the Jags. And you don't have to believe me. Just you want to ask Josh Allen. That dude was beat up. I mean, they were knocking him around. He got it done, and he still finished that game, and he was in good shape. But my goodness, They were banging him around. Very physical game. And that Jacksonville team, I think, is a team you got to watch for moving forward. But how is Denver going to react? Obviously, they've got a good defense. There's no doubt about that. Offensively, it's concerning. Let's face it. When you look at them in the regular season, Bo Nix, average, although he had flashes, and a lot of his flashes came in the fourth quarter. That's when Denver's notorious this year for coming back in the fourth quarter, for rallying to wins and getting that done in the fourth quarter. Going to be a good football game, and you got to look at the winner of that game, and I don't care who comes out of the Patriots-Texans game. You got to look, whoever comes out of that might be the favorite, although the only good news is for either the Texans or the Patriots, if Buffalo wins, they got to come to you. So obviously, if you're one of those two teams, you're hoping that the Bills knock off Denver, so you don't have to travel to Denver. You get them coming to you, whether that's either in New England or in Houston. And can you imagine the Texans pledge hosting an AFC championship game against the Buffalo Bills?
Stuff I dream about.
That would be incredible. And look, I'll give this to you. The Texans own Buffalo. I mean, they really do. They play well against the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen. And
especially in Houston.
Exactly. And it's, boy, that would be a dream matchup for the Houston Texans if that happens. Of course, they've got to beat New England, too, to make that happen. But you're hoping Buffalo wins that game. Second game on Saturday night is San Francisco at Seattle. I promise you, nobody is going to give the Niners a chance in this game. Nobody's going to. I'm not going to. I don't think Pledge is. I haven't asked him directly. But you giving them a chance, Pledge?
Given
San Francisco.
Yeah.
You are?
I mean, I don't know if I'm picking them or not, but like I give them a chance just because Kyle Shanahan, Christian McCaffrey, they have found ways to win this year.
What about that Brock Purdy guy?
Yeah.
He was pretty good.
There's a reason that he's starting and not Mac Jones.
Well, there is. He led the game-winning drive against Philadelphia. And I'm happy for Brock Purdy. He's been one of those guys, though, that plays well in the playoffs up until a certain point.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get beat. I'm afraid this is going to be the end of them, but that's why you play the games. I mean, who knows? Maybe the Seahawks turn the football over 4 or 5 times, and you never know, right?
We just keep waiting to see Sam Darnold turn into Sam Darnold.
He only does that with the Rams, and they still end up winning the game somehow, some way. Going to be an interesting football game, though. I would like to see San Francisco win that thing. I don't know why. I like that team. I like McCaffrey, obviously. I like Purdy. I think they're going without George Kittle, though. That really hurts them.
That hurts.
That really hurts them because that's truly Brock Purdy's security blanket. I mean, it truly is. And without him there, their other tight end played fairly well.
Jake Tongas plays well, and he filled in for Kittle earlier in the year and had Kittle, a really good.
Yeah.
But you're right. He's not George Kittle. And George Kittle brings even more when it comes to the emotion and his leadership and just kind of the vibe that he puts into that team with his energy.
No doubt about it. It should be an interesting game. We'll see if San Francisco can stay around in that thing. Seattle's got a pretty good defense themselves. And they've saved Sam Darnold's bacon on more than one occasion. But again, I'm always interested to see. And I say this, and it sounds weird, because if you get an opportunity to have a week off, you obviously take it. But sometimes teams that play the week before have that momentum and they're rolling. And if you get off to a slow start in a particular game, if you had the week off. So, it's going to be interesting to see in both of those games, Buffalo, Denver, San Francisco, Seattle, how Denver come out.
I think the good thing for Seattle is that the final week of the season meant something.
It did.
So they played in the final. So having 1 week off, not a big deal, is teams that start resting people when they lock stuff up super early.
That's Philadelphia.
To avoid injury. Those things are, I think, a bigger deal because now you're talking about multiple weeks off and then trying to ramp back up into this. You can just treat like any bye week during the season.
And keep in mind, the last team they beat that meant something was the San Francisco 49ers.
And they embarrassed them.
well, what was that game? 13-3.
Mhm.
It was a defensive battle, but they shut down that San Francisco offense with George Kittle, by the way. So there you go. And then, of course, the first game on Sunday is the Texans-Patriots. We've talked a lot about that game. The nightcap that will end it all is the Rams taking on the Chicago Bears. And I got to say that anybody that rules the Bears out is foolish, I think. And I say that because it just might be destiny for them. I don't know. They got banged up against Green Bay. They lost an offensive lineman, which is going to hurt them. They also, I think, lost a linebacker, if I'm not mistaken, a player that's a playmaker for that defense. But if I wouldn't have seen that game, honestly, against Green Bay, I would not have believed it. And I'm watching that game, just watching Chicago not do anything in the first half. And then to completely turn that football game around and Green Bay not do anything in the second half and Chicago come back and win that thing was just incredible and a lot of fun.
Let's call it what it was. That was a Green Bay choke job more than anything else. Give Chicago their credit. They did put the pressure on, but Green Bay collapsed under that pressure.
Well, I will say this, and I think what it was is Ben Johnson completely outcoached LaFleur in that second half. He made the adjustments. LaFleur couldn't come back from it. And I think that was a huge part of it.
This is one thing, though, because we love McVay. We love the Rams. I think all of us kind of picked LA as our favorites in the NFC to kind of get to the Super Bowl early in the season. And they've kind of been that team for most of the year with little dips along the way. They're an indoor team.
Yeah, they are.
They're going to Chicago. The weather on Sunday night. High of 20, low of 11. Thick cloud cover, bitterly cold with little afternoon snow. 61% chance of snow or some kind of wintry mix throughout the day. Real feel, 10 degrees. Windy.
I want to take you back a year, Pledge. When the Rams went to Philadelphia last year.
I remember.
It was nasty. It was snowing. It was a blizzard. And the Rams should have won that game. They actually blew it. Philly didn't win that game.
Saquon Barkley played pretty well.
Well, he did, but the Rams were right there. They could play in this. I don't think there's any question. We'll see. We'll see. I think the Rams win this game, and I think they win it handily. I do. By handily, 10 or better. I just think that they do. Look, I think Chicago's up and coming. They're going to be there, but I just think they're a year or two away, and the Rams are ready to roll. And what a coaching matchup that's going to be, though. Ben Johnson against Sean McVay.
I'm just saying, when it comes down to that Rams offense and what we're used to seeing out of it, this weather could be an equalizer in how this game just stays close.
It could. It could very well. We'll see. It's going to be a great nightcap to watch that thing.
Much like the Philly game last year.
Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. It's going to be fun, man. Again, while last weekend was my favorite weekend of the NFL playoffs, this one's certainly a close second because of what it means. And then it just gets sad after that because
championship weekend?
Well, I mean, it's fun, yeah, but it's like then you got 2 weeks off, you got a Super Bowl, and it's like it's over.
Yeah, it's always sad when the NFL season ends, but then the fun stuff happens. We start talking about the draft, and we start talking about free agency and how rosters are built and constructed. And those are the things that get us back to training camp, get our whistle wet again, and get us ready for the roller coaster of emotion that is the NFL season. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger here on San Antonio Sports Star. When we come back, Spurs, big game tonight, taking on the Thunder. Can they go 4-0 against them this year, who are the great defending champions and odds-on favorite to be the champions yet again? Can the Spurs make their statement? Well, Morning Huddle was talking about it earlier this morning. We'll get to that next, right here on Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. fit awaits. Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ziprecruiter.com/radio right now to try it for free, and you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ziprecruiter.com/radio. Once again, that's ziprecruiter.com/radio.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
This year, it was important for my business to start strong.
Starting weak is not recommended.
But first, I needed a lot of stuff for the office.
Sounds like a shopping spree.
I just went to Staples. They have great prices on everything, like ink, toner, printers, paper, and chairs. And now you can get up to 30% off select HP printers.
Up to 30% off HP printers. Am I on a hidden camera show?
No.
Well then, let's go Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in-store, online, or on the app. Ends 131. Select models only.
Every morning, we rise and shine, make breakfast, and brush away the night's rest. These routines help us start the day off right. Nature-Made vitamins are a simple step in that daily care regimen. Multivitamins with daily essentials, clinically studied probiotics for gut health support, magnesium to help relax the body. Nature-Made is made to care for you every day. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Presented by Robinhood.
He crosses, spins, pulls up.
With Robinhood prediction markets, buy or sell your predictions all game long. No house odds, just you versus the market. Put your sports IQ to work. Trade every shot, block, steal, run, and moment that shifts the game. With Robinhood prediction markets, trade every play. Visit Robinhood.com/predict to start trading. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
I'm Shanola Hampton. Every day, millions of people face hunger. Today, I will share with you some of their experiences. I'm stuck between paying for medications or paying for food. John from Maine. After paying my bills, I can buy groceries. It's sad to say, food comes last. Alice from Oregon. I thought pantries were for less fortunate people, but anybody could be less fortunate in a day or even a second. Claire from Virginia. The Feeding America network of food banks helps provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. No one should have to worry where their next meal will come from. Together, we can end hunger. Learn more at feedingamerica.org.
James was diagnosed at 3 months old with neuroblastoma. We went from thinking we had a healthy 3-month-old little boy. All of a sudden, he had this super serious cancer. It was heartbreaking. He had chemotherapy until he was just under a year old. And at that point, he was in remission.
Went that way for a year and then relapsed February of 2023. And here we are 1 year later, finishing up treatment, hopefully.
The research is extremely important. And the treatments that they're developing here get shared with all the doctors to help treat children worldwide.
It's contributing something like one more piece of the puzzle to curing this horrible disease. We all want the same thing. We all want our children to live, have long, meaningful lives.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
San Antonio's Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings of Pleasure here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm James Pleasure. Appreciate y'all riding along with me tonight as we take you up to 7 o'clock. Spurs got a big game coming up at 7 o'clock as they get set to take on the Oklahoma City Thunder for the 4th time and hopefully get a clean sweep of OKC. But how feasible is that? Well, earlier this morning on the Morning Huddle, Rob and AJ previewing tonight's Spurs Thunder matchup.
Hello, friends. It's Good Morning Huddle 94.1. The San Antonio Spurs get back in the saddle tonight, and they'll do it in Oklahoma City against a Thunder team that they have basically owned for the last couple of meetings. 3-0.
3-0.
And Joe Reinagel was like, why does it feel like, every time they play the Thunder, it's in Oklahoma City?
Well,
It's
one
like,
time.
they played once in Vegas, and then they
Vegas,
played
yeah.
home and home. It's not every time. I
Well,
think
it does
it's a fair
feel that
amount.
way. I will be honest. It doesn't feel
Does
like we
it?
play them here very often.
I don't know. I guess maybe because I was gone. I wanted to go to the game here, and I couldn't because I was gone.
I went to that one, and it felt like it feels like years since we've seen them. But no, I kind of get that sense that we don't seem to get the home court advantage against them very often.
Huh. Well, I mean, let's face it. Until this season, did it really matter?
No.
The Thunder, like if the Thunder played last year, like, and they could only shoot the basketball with their feet and had to run on their hands, they would have beat the Spurs last year. No
That's
matter
a
where they
little
played.
excessive.
This year's a little different. The Thunder have, after going through this lull where they lost, they lose 4 out of 6 games at one point, and it was like, they seem to have righted the ship since then. They've gone 7-2 since that run, and now they get a Spurs team that has been. They've had uneven results of late. Is that a fair way to put it?
Yeah, they're learning. They're up and down.
What do you expect from the Spurs tonight? Here's my question, because I heard the Blitz talking about this yesterday. Joe said if the Spurs win tonight, the Thunder can't possibly have any confidence if they play this team in the playoffs.
I don't totally agree, but yeah. We can't beat them, Coach. We've tried 3 different things. I don't care how good you are. Now there is the familiarity.
There is, though. We've been to the playoffs in.
Well, no, I'm not saying that you think you can't beat them because you're the world champions and you've owned this team.
Yeah,
but
you've owned this league,
but going up against a team that has beaten you 3, maybe 4 times in a regular season is you're going to tell me that instills confidence, because when you play a team who's better, you might lose the game, but man, I don't know how they beat that, how we lost those guys.
Yeah.
When you walk off, who the alpha dog was, and sometimes you feel like you gave it to him. Sometimes you just get whooped, and to get beaten 4 times, it's hard to overcome. But you're the world champs. You got Gilgeous, who is an MVP of the highest caliber, who is not. He's not up and down. The guy just comes to work. He's 16 games away from breaking Wilt Chamberlain's record for the most consecutive 20-point games in a row. And Wilt's at 126 and Shea's at 110.
I didn't know that.
Without the night off, 20 points a night. He comes to work. And when you come to work, you win 75% of your games when you're a superstar like that.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of variance there. The Spurs have to learn to play to this level every game.
Yeah. Do you expect the Spurs are super up for this one?
No. I think they're beat down. They're tired. I think there was a plan to try to reserve some legs against Minnesota. I saw, Lindy Waters playing in the first quarter. So there's an attempt to prepare, because I do think Mitch takes these big games seriously, especially nationally televised games, because heck, we're on the rise. But I think physically at the end of a run, it's going to be a little tough. The good news is OKC, I think, is coming off a back-to-back, or Milwaukee will be coming up on Thursday. And they do have Milwaukee at home with Giannis coming in just day after tomorrow. So you got 3 wins against a team. You got a team that really has revenge on their mind. You're banged up. You don't have Devin Vassell. Steph Castle and Dylan Harper are MIA right now. It's going to be tough. And I think if you read the room like Pop used to, you come out, you offer a little bit, and if it ain't there, you start playing some backups and get ready for Giannis at home.
Thunder are 7.5-point favorites.
See, they're seeing what I'm seeing. This is going to be a tough one. Yeah.
You mentioned no Vassell for the Spurs, no Hartenstein for the Thunder still.
And he plays Wemby pretty well. He's good physically. He gets underneath his chin and plays good defense against him. In fact, I think a lot of people have seen the scouting report on how he plays Wemby, and they're copying that. We saw that with Julius Randle getting up underneath Wemby the other night.
There was some thought that he was going to be back for this game, but it looks like he is out for tonight. And obviously, they still haven't had Topic all year, Thomas Sorber all year. So, but generally, outside of Hartenstein, they're only missing one. I mean, he's the only key rotation guy for them that they're without. And same for the Spurs. The Spurs being without Vassell, it hurts. It's one piece.
I saw a podcast. I don't know where Carmelo was or who he was talking about, but they were getting ready for this game. And Carmelo made a statement that I tend to agree with. We're not there yet, but in his eye, I think they're close. And he says that the reason the Spurs are so competitive with Oklahoma City isn't because of Wemby or De'Aaron. It's the others, that our others are better than their others. The bench strength, when we're talking about Keldon and Cornette, and those guys coming off the bench, they're just better than the guys coming off of the OKC bench. I think that those same guys coming off last year were far better than the Spurs. Yeah. And if they were still doing it that way, they'd still be better than the Spurs. I think the others for Oklahoma City aren't playing up to match. We talked about Case and Wallace and Dort yesterday. They're not consistent. They're the reason they've lost some games. Shea's had some off nights, but you've had off games coming off the bench from some of these guys. Once they got Jalen back, that helped.
Yeah.
But the others, I do think for the Spurs, if they are going to make a run, it's going to land with those guys.
Yeah, but that's the other thing, though, is how do you parse that? Because when you get to the playoffs, what happens? Your rotations tighten up.
I don't think the Spurs are going to be in a place to do that. And I don't think Oklahoma City's built that way. I do think, but Oklahoma City, those guys have proven to me they can do it. Now,
Oklahoma City played like 8 guys in the playoffs last year.
Yeah, I think that won't change. And I think the Spurs are going to be running around 8 to 9 guys too. But I do think now, currently, if everybody was healthy, I would argue that the others for the Spurs are playing better. But sustained career, I'm certainly going to put my money on Dort and Wallace because, dang, they've done it. They got the ring. They showed me.
But that's the thing. It's something that they grew. They fell short the year before. They finally looked like the best team in the NBA last year and finished it off with the championship. The Spurs, while on the same path as Oklahoma City, they're taking their big leap forward this year, will likely be a playoff team and maybe could get a couple rounds and into a conference championship game. Are they ready to compete for an NBA title this year? We all hope so. But I believe in the progression that we've seen Oklahoma City follow, the Spurs are a year behind that. Now, can they expedite that with a trade for a sharpshooter? Potentially. Or can this team, while it's deep as hell, which leads to great regular season success, when those rotations tighten up in the postseason and late in the year, does this team also tighten up and get even better than they already are? And they are off to a fantastic start. I think those are very, very important questions that need to be at least considered as we continue through towards the trade deadline here, about a little under a month away. Appreciate all y'all for joining me this evening. Spurs tipping off here in just about 12 minutes. TGL on behind me, as you can see. Juniper Lakes leading that series right now. But I look at the NBA as a whole, and this Anthony Davis thing is so weird. And we got another update as Anthony Davis, apparently Shams doesn't bat 1,000 because he reportedly will not undergo hand procedure after a second opinion and will be reevaluated in 6 weeks. What does that mean for him and his potential to be traded? What does it mean for the Mavericks and the rest of the NBA if he is available and not going to miss months and months of the season? Does anybody try to make a move for that? We've already seen one big move with the Trae Young. What else could we see as we get closer to the trade deadline? We'll talk about that as we continue here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Progressive presents Employee of the Month. Small Business Edition. Today's recipient from Lucky Larry's Landscaping, Larry! Larry saved his business money with a quick commercial auto quote from Progressive. Does it help he's his own marketing manager, accountant, executive assistant, and never been late? Technically, yes, but saving really put him over the edge. So, Larry, give Larry a round of applause. Be your own Larry. See if you could save in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Every morning, we rise and shine, make breakfast, and brush away the night's rest. These routines help us start the day off right. Nature-made vitamins are a simple step in that daily care regimen. Multivitamins with daily essentials, clinically studied probiotics for gut health support, magnesium to help relax the body. Nature-Made is made to care for you every day. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from,
we can be twinsies,
to,
how was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You know the rush when you reach that goal, when something you've worked for pays off. That's success. At University of Maryland Global Campus, we believe you should never stop chasing it. That's why we offer a skills-based education that helps move your career forward. Learn how to apply emerging technologies like AI and data science. Build your leadership and critical thinking skills. Apply by February 11th and save with no application fee. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, we react to another big Spurs OKC game. And we'll talk some Houston Texans football. Indy Kalu will join us to talk about that amazing defense. And, oh yeah, Minix is back. The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. It's Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I am James Pleasure. Appreciate y'all riding along with me. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. At I am Pleasure. Follow the station at SA Sports Star. Fred Robert Casares Jr. asks, will the Spurs trade Jeremy Sohan for Anthony Davis? And is he willing to come off the bench? No, I don't believe they're trading for Anthony Davis. I think if they're trading for somebody from the Mavs, it may be Klay Thompson. You're talking about a guy who's won championships, who has a veteran presence in leadership, much like Harrison Barnes does. And provides a service, they need a wing that is a sharpshooter from deep. And I think that could be something that the Spurs are looking for. I also think they could go more closer to their timeline. And for me, I look at Oklahoma City, or excuse me, I look at the New Orleans Pelicans, and I think Herb Jones and Trey Murphy are two guys. 3-and-D. Offense doesn't have to run through them. They know their role. They know their situation. And I think it would give them a good opportunity to fill a hole. Now, does Jeremy Sohan and draft picks get that done? I don't know. It feels like the Pelicans have been unwilling to move either of those two guys in any trade talks, despite how bad they are and what's going on with their draft picks and them not technically owning them because of trades made in the past. But as the deadline nears, things can change. People's mind change, and maybe certain draft picks look more appeasing. It's going to be very interesting to watch over the next month to see kind of how this all shapes out before the NBA trade deadline. This has been Extra Innings with Pleasure. Love you guys. Appreciate y'all rolling along with me tonight. Of course, as always, call your loved ones, check on them. You never know what they're going through in life, and a simple, hey, how you doing can change everything. This has been Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Don't forget to start your day with Rob and AJ. They get you going from 6 to 10. Then Jason and Joe. Jason back in the saddle. They will be here tomorrow at 2. And then I'll take you home once again at 6 o'clock. Until then, have a great night, everybody.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment